All right, everybody, get ready. Because today we are headed to South America,
Right.
to a place that honestly I'd never even really thought about visiting before prepping for this deep dive.
Really?
But now, yeah, I'm kind of obsessed.
I get that. I totally get that.
We're talking about Suriname,
Surname.
that little country wedged between Guyana and French Guiana.
Yeah, it's like the hidden gem of South America, you know?
And we're diving deep into not one and not two, but three different travel articles.
3. Wow.
All about this place. So if you've ever even considered heading to South America,
We're just looking for something completely different.
this is the deep dive for you.
And let me tell you, these articles, they don't disappoint. They paint Suriname as this fascinating blend of cultures and history.
Like, seriously, it's crazy.
1 minute you're sipping coffee in a cafe, surrounded by Dutch colonial architecture.
Like you're in Amsterdam or something.
Exactly. And the next, you're trekking through a rainforest so dense and vibrant, it feels like you've stepped into Jurassic Park, but, you know.
Hold on. Jurassic Park without the dinosaurs. Right?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course, safety first.
Uh-huh.
But you get the idea, it's a country of incredible contrast.
Speaking of contrast, let's talk about Paramaribo. All three articles are like, you have to visit the capital.
Oh, absolutely. Paramaribo is a must-see.
What is it about Paramaribo, though, that's got everyone so hyped?
Well, for starters, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This city is literally a melting pot of cultures, and you can see it in every nook and cranny, every building, every street corner.
So what? We're talking like a mix of architectural styles.
Think Dutch colonial buildings right next door to mosques and synagogues.
Whoa, seriously.
It's like history decided to throw a block party and everyone was invited.
I love that.
And just imagine the energy, the aromas of spices wafting from street vendors,
Oh man, the food. We'll definitely circle back to that. I'm already drooling.
the vibrant colors of those traditional wooden houses.
It's a sensory overload in the best way possible.
Absolutely. And that's just the city. We haven't even scratched the surface of Suriname's natural wonders.
Okay, lead the way. From what I've gathered from these articles, Suriname is basically Mother Nature showing off.
You could say that again. The Suriname River, in particular, it's like the country's heartbeat.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Imagine cruising down this wide, majestic river, surrounded by lush rainforest.
Sounds pretty idyllic.
It is. You could take a relaxing boat ride, or if you're feeling venturous, hop on a water taxi.
A water taxi. Like instead of a yellow cab, it's a little boat.
You got it. They're a common way to get around, especially if you're visiting former plantations along the river.
Now that sounds like an adventure. Speaking of adventures, we've got to talk about Brownsburg Nature Park.
Ah, Brownsburg.
The articles make it sound incredible, like biodiverse wonderland, hidden waterfalls, the works.
It's the real deal. Imagine hiking through dense rainforest, the air thick with the sounds of the jungle,
Okay, I'm there.
sunlight filtering through the canopy, howler monkeys calling in the distance.
Howler monkeys. Now, those are some sounds you don't hear every day.
And then you stumble upon a hidden waterfall, cascading down moss-covered rocks, a cool oasis in the heart of the jungle.
Oh man, that's the dream right there. Suriname's sounding less like a vacation and more like a movie set every minute.
Right. But it's not all sunshine and waterfalls.
What do you mean?
Well, Suriname's history, it's complex.
Ah, right, I'd imagine, given its location and all.
There are layers to it, both joyful and challenging, like take the abandoned plantations along the Cameline River.
Yeah, one of the articles mentioned those.
They're a stark reminder of Suriname's colonial past, a time of sugar plantations, and tragically, the slave trade.
It's a side of history we can't ignore, even when we're talking about beautiful destinations. It's a good reminder that paradise often has a complex past.
Exactly.
But on a lighter note, Suriname's history is also one of incredible cultural fusion.
Oh, absolutely. And one place that really exemplifies that is the Joden Savan.
The Jodens have...
Yeah, it's this abandoned Jewish settlement. Talk about a hidden gem. It's like stepping back in time.
Tell me more about it. What makes it so special?
Well, it was home to the first synagogue built in the Western Hemisphere.
Wow, I had no idea.
The cemeteries there are also incredibly well preserved. They offer this really poignant glimpse into the lives of the early Jewish settlers who made Suriname their home.
It really challenges our typical ideas of, well, where we might find Jewish history.
It really does. It's a reminder of the unexpected communities that thrived in Suriname's past.
I love that.
It's fascinating, right?
And speaking of fascinating and unexpected, we've got to talk about those off-the-beaten-path treasures that Suriname's hiding.
Oh, you mean the kind of places that only the locals and a few intrepid travelers know about?
Exactly. The ones that make you feel like you've stumbled upon something truly special.
Well, if you're looking for peace and tranquility, picture yourself in the Palmentuin.
The Wet'suwet'en.
The Palmentuin, it's this serene palm garden tucked away behind the presidential palace in Paramaribo.
Okay, now that sounds like my kind of place. Just imagine sipping some fresh coconut water under the shade of a palm tree, listening to the birds.
Pure bliss. Or, if you're more of a bird watcher, Paper Pot Nature Park is calling your name.
Ooh, tell me more about this one. I do love a good bird sighting.
It's built on a former plantation, so you get this incredible blend of history and nature.
History and denature, always a winning combination.
Plus, it's home to tons of rare bird species, so make sure you bring your binoculars.
Noted. Anything else? I feel like we're just scratching the surface of Suriname's hidden gems.
Well, if you're up for a bit of a journey, head to Warapa Creek.
Warpa Creek. Okay, I'm adding that to the list. What's so special about it?
It's home to this fascinating historical sugar factory.
Oh, wow. A real blast from the past.
And there's a museum there that tells the story of Suriname's colonial past, from the sugar plantations to the present day.
Sounds like a must-visit for any history buff. Okay, I'm officially convinced Suriname needs to be on everyone's travel radar.
I agree.
But before our listeners pack their bags, let's give them some practical tips.
Excellent idea. We want them to be prepared.
We'll start with the basics. What's the weather like? Should I pack my parka or my swimsuit?
Definitely pack your swimsuit. Suriname has a tropical climate.
Okay, so we're talking hot and humid.
You got it.
So lightweight, breathable clothing is key. We don't want anyone having a meltdown from the heat.
And don't forget the insect repellent.
Ah, good call. The rainforest is beautiful, but those mosquitoes are relentless.
They sure are.
So when's the best time to visit this tropical paradise?
If you're looking for the sweet spot, aim for mid-August to mid-November. That's when you'll have the best chance of sunshine without the constant threat of rain dampening your adventures.
Sunshine and adventure it is. Now, I know the official language is Dutch, but let's be real, how many of us are fluent in Dutch?
Well, you might be surprised.
Whoa.
While Dutch is the official language, English is widely spoken, especially in tourist areas.
Whew, that's a relief. No need to dust off those rusty high school language skills.
Exactly. But hey, it never hurts to learn a few basic Dutch phrases.
True, true. It's always good to make an effort.
It shows respect and can lead to some really heartwarming interactions with the locals.
All right, so we've explored the vibrant streets of Paramaribo.
We've trekked through the rainforest.
We've even uncovered some hidden historical gems.
Yeah.
And we've only just scratched the surface of what Suriname has to offer.
And that's what's so captivating about Suriname. It's one of those places that just stays with you, long after you've left.
It really makes you want to grab your passport and just go.
Right.
Speaking of grabbing, all this talk about cultural fusion has my stomach rumbling.
Uh-huh.
We talked about the blend of cultures, but what about the food?
Oh, the food. Get ready for a culinary adventure.
Hit me with it. What kind of flavors are we talking about here?
Imagine this. Indigenous traditions, African spices, European flair, Indonesian curries, Chinese noodles, all in one place.
Wait, seriously, it's like a global food festival exploded onto my plate.
Exactly. You'll find dishes you've never even heard of before, but trust me, your taste buds will thank you.
Okay, now I'm starving. We need a whole separate deep dive just for Surinamese food.
I'm in. We could spend hours talking about the culinary influences and those unique flavor combinations. But for now, let's get back to those once-in-a-lifetime experiences that Suriname offers.
Right. Because we've covered the cities, the rainforest, but I have a feeling there's so much more to uncover.
Oh, you have no idea. How about witnessing sea turtles nesting on the beach under a starlit sky?
Okay, you had me at sea turtles.
Imagine standing just feet away as these ancient creatures come ashore to lay their eggs. It's a truly humbling experience.
It's like something out of a nature documentary, but in real life.
Exactly. And speaking of incredible experiences, we can't forget about the Maroon villages.
Oh, right. The articles mentioned those. I'm drawing a blank. What are they again?
So, the Saramacca people are descendants of escaped slaves, and they've preserved their traditions and way of life for centuries in these villages along the Suriname River. It's a chance to step back in time and witness a culture that's resilient and vibrant.
Okay, you've officially convinced me. Suriname needs to be on my travel bucket list. But let's get practical for a moment. We talked about packing for the weather, but what about safety?
Suriname is generally considered safe for travelers, but it's always wise to be aware of your surroundings. Like anywhere else, petty theft can happen, so just be mindful, especially in crowded areas.
Makes sense. And what about respecting local customs? Any tips for our listeners?
Definitely. Little respect goes a long way. Dress modestly when visiting religious sites, ask permission before taking photos of people, and always be mindful of noise levels, especially in residential areas.
Good advice. Now, we've talked about the Suriname River and those awesome water taxis, but what about other ways to get around?
Well, if you're looking to explore those remote areas, domestic flights are a great option.
Domestic flights. So we're talking like hopping on a small plane and flying over the rainforest.
Exactly. It's an experience in itself.
Yeah, that's what I call an adventure. What about something a little more, shall we say, budget-friendly?
Buses are a common and affordable way to travel between towns and cities. Just be prepared for varying road conditions. It's all part of the adventure.
I'm all about embracing the unexpected. And of course, there's always the option to rent a car for ultimate freedom and flexibility.
Exactly. Having your own wheels gives you the freedom to explore at your own pace.
So many options. Now, after a long day of exploring, I'm going to need a place to crash. What's the accommodation scene like in Suriname?
Well, in Paramaribo, you'll find everything from luxury hotels with rooftop pools to charming guest houses tucked away on quiet streets.
Something for every taste and budget. I like it.
Exactly. And if you're venturing further out, eco-lodges are becoming increasingly popular.
Ooh, eco-lodges. I love the idea of experiencing nature while minimizing my environmental impact.
Me too. And for a truly authentic experience, you could even consider a homestay with a local family.
Now, that's what I call immersive travel. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from sea turtles to eco-lodges, but I always like to make sure we haven't missed any hidden gems. Anything particularly surprising or unexpected jump out at you from the articles?
You know, one thing that really struck me was Suriname's status as a carbon-negative country.
Wait, what? Carbon negative? Tell me more.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Suriname actually absorbs more carbon dioxide than it emits, largely due to its vast protected rainforests.
Wow, I had no idea. That's incredible.
Right. It's like you get to experience this incredible natural beauty while also supporting a country that's on the forefront of environmental responsibility.
Talk about a win-win. As we start to wrap up our deep dive into Suriname, I'm honestly blown away by what I've learned.
It really does leave a mark, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, we've talked about the food, the culture, the nature, but it all comes back to the people, doesn't it? This incredible mix of ethnicities and cultures, all calling Suriname home.
It's a true melting pot.
It makes you wonder, what's it like to live in a place like that, where every day is a celebration of different traditions and perspectives?
I know, right? It really speaks to the power of, well, cultural exchange.
Exactly.
You think about how, often we tend to focus on the differences between us.
Right, right.
But in Suriname, those differences, they're celebrated, they're embraced, and they become a source of, real strength and inspiration for the nation.
It's a good reminder that diversity isn't just a buzzword, it's a strength.
Absolutely.
And when you think about it, that diversity, it must infuse every aspect of life in Suriname. The music, the art, the stories that are passed down through generations.
It's like a living, breathing tapestry woven from all these different cultural threads.
It makes me want to book a one-way ticket, find a local family, and say, teach me everything you know.
I'm already there. And that's really what I hope our listeners take away from this deep dive.
What's that?
A sense of, wonder, curiosity.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe even a little nudge to, look beyond the typical tourist destinations.
To go off the beaten path.
Exactly. To truly immerse themselves in a place like Suriname. To experience it with all their senses. To embrace the unexpected.
And to come away with, well, like you said, a renewed appreciation for the beauty of human connection, right?
Yes.
And the power of cultural diversity.
Absolutely, because sometimes the most rewarding adventures, they're not just about the places we go, but
it's about the people we meet.
Exactly.
The experiences we share.
And the ways in which those experiences change us,
Beautifully said. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up our deep dive into Suriname.
I agree.
But before we go, we want to hear from you. Have you ever been to Suriname?
Are you adding it to your bucket list after this episode?
Share your thoughts, your dreams, your travel plans in the comments below.
And until next time, keep exploring.
Safe travels, everyone.